So you know what? All of us in here in our 40s, right? And there were probably a lot of
Hey,
different things that we
Viata right
did.
there. That little store right there.
There was,
And what's the
there was a
first thing
bunch
on it? Chicken.
Free promotion.
free promotion. Hey, we all been in our 20s before, and we all consider ourselves somewhat successful at our based off our own definition of what success is. And we probably all done did some bonehead things in our 20s that may have hindered us. And some people say hinder, and some people would say that it made you better. And I know one of the things in the military is that they say you can't make E7 unless you had an Article 15 first. So pretty much you got in trouble.
What does that mean?
Um, well, it's just a disciplinary infraction.
Oh, okay.
Pretty much, you get in trouble. You can do, depending on what you get, max jail time, or it could be something as small as having extra duty.
Oh, okay.
So, but I got demoted a couple times. I've been E1 through E5 for the most part, almost each one twice. And all of those were, huh?
You went hard.
I went hard. I got in trouble hard when I was in. Those first few years, E1, E2, back to E1, make E2, make E3, back to E2. You know what I mean? Made E5 twice. But I still made E7 my first look. I eventually changed around. Some would say that getting in trouble and all of those things hindered me from, the possibility of making master sergeant or sergeant major in my time. But some also would say that because I got in trouble and I learned from my mistakes, that it didn't necessarily hinder me from the amount of success or lack of amount of success that I may or may not have right now. So what are some things that y'all may have done in y'all 20s that y'all may feel like have hindered you from some of the success that, or just may have hindered you?
I could speak on that one first, because for me, what hindered me is that I just lost my train of thought. Somebody else go. Just add it to. Oh yeah, I got it. Sorry, my bad. So what hindered me was because I was good at drawing, natural talent. It hindered me because I always waited to the last minute to do it, right? So it hindered me in a sense of holding me back from actually doing it. It stopped me from doing it because I waited till the last minute. Then I'd say, okay, I could pull it off because I was good enough to pull it off at the last minute. That stopped my own talent, stopped me from really going in on it. And it was a big setback, right? So I'd wait till the last minute to do a lot of things. One thing that always hindered me was procrastination, because I related everything to that. So I'd wait I had procrastination for everything based on my drawing, because I wait till the last minute to do it. So your own gift can make you, it's like, talent can keep you in line, but it can also hold you back because you're not working as hard as the next guy to do what he's doing, because you can pull it off. So it holds you back from actually practicing your skill. That's what I would like to say on that. So it's
Big
a
mic drop. I like that, Antoine. That's really good, man.
It's a double-edged sword. I'm being honest. It really is for me. I think the doctor is.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes, sir. Yeah. I was going to say, in the line with what Antoine said, I was trying to think, how could I characterize this? Because I feel it's part procrastination, but my procrastination was tied to lack of confidence. So I didn't move so that was a big distraction for me in my 20s. Like, for example, excuse me, like if I would have believed in myself more, I probably would have been doing music earlier. And so because I didn't, and I don't think that me working like for the Forest Service in Montana was bad. I don't think me going and getting a master's was bad, nothing like that. But I think in my 20s, up until probably like my late 20s, I was still moving in a way, like doing what I was supposed to do. So it's like I was going to school, so it's like I went to school, but then when I got to school, I would find ways of going to doing music. It's kind of like, it's like that's what I wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have I didn't have women as a distraction like that, because I didn't have the confidence. So that didn't come until like my 30s, like as far as like it be like I guess being a distraction where I had to do something different. But in my 20s, man, it was the low confidence for me, but I just don't know how do I characterize that, as a distraction, so that means I guess I was focused on not loving myself enough, trying to be like somebody else, maybe trying to please.
It's not a distraction, it's a hindrance.
It's a who what?
It's not a distraction, it's a hindrance.
Yeah.
It's a hindrance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
So it still fits though. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with what you said.
Okay.
Because you had to work through that before you actually did it. Get it? So you have to work through all that confidence stuff before you actually stepped up to the plate. So that's still you worked it. Okay, I'm ready. Boom, and then you jump in. So that hindered you from just jumping into it, right? That's
got you.
That's what I got from what you said.
But but what I like is that you captured yours as procrastination. But it's like, I guess I'm asking you a question, then, Antoine. What do you think that procrastination was tied to? Like I said, I know mine was tied to lack of confidence, right? So it hindered me from doing something. I wait to the similar story, wait to the last minute. Or I'll be honest with you, man. Sometimes I would convince myself it's okay to let it pass,
right?
And I would just miss the opportunity. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to see, like, what do you call that in terms of
mine was procrastination because of my talent. I was good. I didn't need to practice like the next guy. So I waited till the last minute to do it, right? Because I can draw it in. These guys took 2 days and I'm drawing it in a freaking 20 minutes because I just had it in me. So I'm like, last day before I go to school, which was bad, which was not good. I don't recommend that for anybody. But,
they call that overconfidence.
See, that's what I was just trying to get a word for it. That's what.
Yeah, no.
It's
not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing. Like listen. To be honest with you, I take pride in saying this. I always say to myself, and I say to this day, I'm the best artist there is out there. I don't care what anybody else says. I know what I could do, right? Until I see something that I can't do, I'm gonna say I'm the best. And I think you need that in order to succeed in anything you do. You can't walk into a pool with great white sharks and be a guppy. Shit, man, you better be. If I'm not scared to talk about my art, and I don't think anybody should be scared to talk about what they're good at. Why would you be scared? You're good at it. It's like you know what I mean? I don't think Kobe was scared to talk about basketball being the #1 player. It's like when you interview these basketball players about the game, they're great. You interview them about their private life and their study. It's like, bro, form the same sentence. It's cool. You're just talking about your home. But you talk to them after the game and they're like, sharp. They can tell you everything from the time the sweat hit the ground to the time they were at the bottom of the court. I see it like that.
Yeah,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
It's something about what Antoine said when he mentioned Kobe, right? Okay, Kobe, just like LeBron, just like Jordan, right? They were all, I guess are. I mean, we still got LeBron right now, right? So they're all greats. They all focused, Dr. J, Will Chamberlain, they all focused on their game. They focused on the game. Now, if you think about it, some people would call them a-holes, especially Kobe and MJ, but they were the best at what they did.
Yeah.
Okay, what I'm going at is that, like, the way that Antoine, you mentioned procrastination, right? And I said lack of confidence for me. Coach just mentioned overconfidence, right? I wonder if this hindrance of us not moving, like, and I won't speak for you, brother, but I'm just saying for me, right? The lack of confidence was tied to what? My lack of confidence was tied to, like some things that I learned about or heard about myself growing up that wasn't true. It was tied to, being bombarded, obviously, with images of negativity, at times. And I guess not having the affirmation. So what I'm saying is that I think that the procrastination, for me at least, has like more than 3 different reasons, or more than 3 different, like nuclei. That makes sense.
Yeah,
I think that maybe that's why some people don't know that they're distracted. But that was just, an idea I had.
So let me jump in right quick, because everybody's kind of like stated theirs, and I feel like now it's reached to the point where I feel like my entry is here. I said, what were some things that hindered you in your 20s? I want to bring that question back, right? And I'll tell you right now, this is why Dr. Easley is my brother. Lack of information. If I had different information, I would have made different or better decisions. So different information changes your confidence. You know what I'm saying? So like if you had different information, you pair that with your talent and your local resources, ask different questions and make different decisions. You know what I'm saying? Like if you never got the information, you don't know. I mean, you're ignorant, right? That's the definition of true ignorance, right? So you got ignorance at one level, then you got stupidity. You know what I'm saying? Like, because after you've been informed and somebody tells you a different way to do something that you're trying to accomplish, that's got more experience, seniority, a better placement and access for a myriad of different reasons. Somebody can have better access, but not necessarily the experience. But they can put you in contact with somebody. So placement and access matters. Being connected to people that have better information than you is the most important thing that can shore up your confidence and allow you to pair your talent with your work and you get an actual result. A lot of us don't know the work that's required to produce the thing that we know we're destined for. You know what I'm saying? How many times you seen great athletes that don't get the right coaching that never make it to the league and was the greatest story of that never happened. You know what I'm saying? So like
Coach.
A lot of us are in the military for we're in the military for information or lack thereof on some other scale. You know, so I think information is the most important thing in that space.
I love it.
And Dr. Easley, do you have any brothers or sisters?
Baby sister.
Oh, you have a baby sister. I was gonna say because I had older brothers that pushed my confidence. That's why I had like what Vic just said about another voice telling you certain things that you may have not had. So that's why I was asking about that. Exactly what Vic said about he didn't have the contacts of somebody else telling him. So I was just saying that's why I asked you if you had.
No, that's a good question, and I did that for my sister. That's a good point because I did do that for my sister. She's an engineer, running a big company and everything. Yep.
There you go. See, yeah, that's a good key point what Vic said right there. Wow, that's a nugget.
Go ahead, Coach.
Yeah. So
I'll go buy my book, Vic. Goddamn.
So I like where Dr. Easley went with this because as I listened to him, I heard a lot of me. Like if I'm just being completely honest, I heard a lot of me when he was talking. And a lot of that was kind of broken down when Vic spoke just now. But I kind of want to go a step further because I had a lot of procrastination in me. And a lot of my procrastination was because I did not have the confidence. I didn't feel as though if I did it early enough, that it would have been accepted, it would have been right, whatever the case may be. And of course, that goes back to the information. But I'm gonna take it a step further. When I look at some of the things that hindered me in my 20s, I want to categorize it under two categories. One was clarity, which is the opposite of focus, and the other one is understanding, which is the information that I received, which was not packaged properly, nor was it executed, and nor were the lessons learned from the information that I received. You also have to understand the information that I received existed on a certain plane. And that plane goes back to what Dr. Easley was talking about, that negative messaging, that those things that did not yield the most positive effect in what we could do, or just talked about what is possible. I never, and I'll be honest with you, growing up, I never heard of, the things that, we talk about today as being possible. I heard of things such as, go to school, get a job, the American dream, whatever that looks like, right? And again, it's kind of creating a, sort of like a box and say, okay, this is what your existence looked like. And then factor in the fact that, okay, my dad wasn't around, right? So it was just me and my mom, and I seen my mom work hard, and the work ethic that I seen her exude was just contagious. So I picked that up. I got her work ethic, I got her determination, I got those things. And then in my mind, it's not that I did not want to be her, but I wanted to be the best version of her. And she can see that in me as I got older. So I spent a lot of time in my 20s just trying to understand what life was, trying to take what this foggy image of reality is, that with me in it, not what somebody else looked like. And I'll be honest with you, I never had that stigma, that color barrier. I've always had friends of different ethnic groups, things of that nature. So I was trying to figure out, like, if they can do it, why can't I do it? If that's possible for them, why is it not possible for me? If this guy right here is talking about going to be a lawyer after school, why was I not conditioned, or why does that not feel like where I should be able to sit at? So clarity, getting a better mental image of, first and foremost, who this guy is. That's the biggest piece I needed to understand. I needed to gain clarity about who I am. Once I can gain clarity about who I am, then I can figure out how I fit in this world and how I can make my mark in a society to help other people figure out who they are. Now, once I've gained clarity, then I can not only get an understanding, right? And all that get an understanding. I can not only get an understanding, but I can help other people get an understanding as well. And here's the thing, and I've said, this is my catchphrase, because a lot of people get kind of like enamored with knowledge. I need to get this. I need to get this. I need to know this. I need to know that. I think Miles Monroe said it best. There's a lot of dead millionaires in the cemetery because they had a lot of information in their head and they did absolutely nothing with it. However, understanding, if we get the information and we gain understanding about the information we have, which means that we actually actioned the information we got, we learned in the moment based upon the trials and errors, the ebbs and flows of life, learning from those mistakes. And then the information we gain from the learning of the information we got, that equates to understanding. So once I got to the point of focusing on getting clarity and then getting understanding, that kind of cleared the fog up for me. And then I had more direction. I'm not going to tell you that happened in my 20s. That didn't happen until like my late 30s and maybe early 40s. But so that just goes to show, between those years, my 20 year, the ages of 20 and 30, I'm still trying to figure it out. And oh yeah, by the way, I was in the Army. I've already been staff sergeant. I'm telling people what to do. I'm kicking behind and taking names. I'm making things happen. And still yet, I'm a grown man wearing E6 on my collar. Got people following me. I'm master fitness qualified. I'm a weight control guy. I'm the urinalysis NC. I'm all of these things. I'm the go-to guy. And I am still in the fog because I did not have clarity and I did not have understanding.
That's a lot, man. I'm gonna say what soak it in for a second first. Let it marinate. You almost don't even want to go after, so many good comments and stuff like this. One of the things I'm gonna say
started it.
Huh?
Vic started it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
The code, baby.
One of the things that hindered me, and not even in a negative way, was marriage. I was married. I had kids. You know what I mean? So when you're married, it's a lot of things that you may not focus on. And when you have kids, I was a family man and still been in the military, like you said too. So
But would you say because you were married at a young age, or would you say marriage in general?
Oh, just at a young age.
Okay.
Not in general. I think like now, marriages would be fine for me.
It wouldn't hinder you, right?
No, it wouldn't hinder me at all.
It was the age at the time when you got married.
Yeah, in my 20s. I was still young. I was 20 years old when I got married.
I get it. That was my biggest fear,
Yeah, and I was already a father, so I wasn't necessarily focused. Some people were. They had entrepreneurs mindsets and spirits and stuff, but I didn't at the time. And it was like, I just didn't know. And this goes back to, information, being in the right setting, knowing what questions to ask. Because even to what Vic was saying, it's like we in the military, it's 100,000aires and thousandaires and probably some millionaires everywhere they around you. But you ain't necessarily talking to them. You don't know what to talk to them about. You don't know who to ask. Like, you don't even know that you should be talking to people about certain things. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know what to ask who and what, so all of those things coming together, what I mean? Like I said, and along with marriage and stuff, and like I said, not that marriage was a negative thing or anything, but just being married in my 20s and having other responsibilities is what are some of the things that hindered me.
I can imagine.
Like I said, and that's nothing negative,
I could imagine, man. See, marriage and kids, man. That's what my biggest fear was, getting a girl pregnant when I was younger.
Yeah,
so I get
it's a huge responsibility. If you want to take part and be a part of your child's life, but if you don't, then what I mean. Some people okay with, paying their child support every month and sending them, you know, once a month or here every weekend. So, I mean,
Yeah.
but the reality of some of us in the military, we kind of sort of did that anyway. You know, when you deploy for 15 months, all you are to a certain extent is a paycheck anyway. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right,
You ain't
yeah.
offering but so much support over the phone, or, you know, back in the day over, you know, I think we had, what was it, Skype then?
Yeah,
You know,
that's right.
and crappy internet service.
The
Yeah.
dial-up.
Definitely crappy internet service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine talking internet over there. Oh man,
That's
it
why
was bad.
certain jobs like oil rig drilling and all that sort of stuff, I wouldn't have somebody back home. You know, those are jobs that, like when my brother became a test pilot, he said, you know, he only stopped being a test pilot when he had his kid because he goes, he didn't want to put himself at risk anymore, right? So he was like, I ain't doing that no more, right? And that's what changed his life. So then he went into fixing it. So I totally relate to what you're like. If being in the military, I talked to this pilot, like what he was saying to me. That's his life. He studies every day. He flies every. If he's not flying, he's studying. If he's not studying, he's flying. I'm like, dude, do you have a life? He goes, I can't have a girl right now. He goes, I'm going to be on a ship waiting to be used, and I'm gone for a year. And when you were even telling me, or Vic was telling me, you guys were gone for like what, 12 months or a year or 15 months. I'm like, what the hell would you have a girl back home for? Like, that's torture on her.
Somebody got to do it.
No. I listen. I get it. I just was saying, like, I totally relate. When you guys told me stuff like that, I was like, really? Holy shit! Like, you guys are halfway across the world and you're relying on Skype.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. Imagine you being leaving, going to fight for your country, right? You're 3 months in, and you've been saving your money, and then 3 or 4 months you check your bank account is empty, and you know what? Your bank account empty, and you know what? You gotta go back to work. You ain't going home. You're in Iraq. I mean, it didn't happen to me, but it happens. Guarantee you, every single deployment, some soldier got taken advantage of.
That's why you watch CSI Miami and see how you can get away with it. You know what
I mean? Nah. I mean, what you can do? Look. At the end of the day, you pick that person. So you gotta take some responsibility for it.
Right, but you know,
pick wrong.